It's inspection day. So we just had the inspection today for the house, and I guess overall it was good. There's some things that we need to clarify, some additional inspections that we should get. They suggested that we got a septic inspection, so we're going to be doing a septic inspection on that. There was just some trying to figure out where things were because it's a split level and there's no basement, figuring out the actual like plumbing and to get the septic inspection. And then, so that's something that we need to do. And then we were looking through like the way the land was marked out on the paperwork, and it looks like it almost like comes right against the house and right against the neighbor's house, which would be not correct, which we know would not be correct because you have to be at least 20 feet off of a property, off of a dwelling. So we have to get the land surveyed. So we'll have to have them come out. And then there is a little issue. So there was a greenhouse. There's a slab on the ground, and that used to be a greenhouse. And then there was this other building on the property. Well, they can't figure out if the building has actually been permitted. So we know there was some illegal action going on at the residence. Originally, the father that passed away who owned the property, he had like an illegal pig farm. That's kind of funny, but not really funny, but he was an older gentleman. He's like, you're not going to tell me what I'm doing. So he was running like he had pigs and cows on the property when he wasn't supposed to have pigs and cows on the property. And then when he died, then his son got the property, and then his son was running a like pot growing facility. So the greenhouse, which is now taken down, was permitted, but the shed/barn was not permitted as a pot facility, but you could smell it all in it.
At the next stop sign,
they don't
turn
even,
right.
it seems like they don't even maybe have that on record. We're not quite sure. So the town is looking into all of that, because I guess if it has not been permitted already, we have to like beseech the town and ask them if they could permit this for us, and or we would have to tear it down, which would kind of be pointless because I don't think that we would purchase the property if it didn't have this additional building on it, because we would have no room for storage. It's a 20 by 40 building. So that's a big thing that we need to just overcome in this journey
At the stop
of stuff.
sign, turn right onto Buxton Road.
So then the only other thing is the boiler, which I don't know what else to call it. Somebody said, what is that? It's the thing that like heats your hot water and does like the heating for your house. So I don't know what other people call that. Anyway, so the water is running really hot, but the valve and stuff in order to turn that down is completely like corroded, broken. So we'd need to replace that piece, which would be a few $100, like $800 to $1,000, he said. But he doesn't know that he would even replace it because the age of the system, it would make more sense, and the amount of like issues going on with the system, like something with the coils and the I don't know, lots of rust and that type of stuff. So it would probably make more sense to put a newer system into there, because when somebody came out, they might not even replace it because of the age of the system. So that's something that will have to be negotiated upon as well, but we're not going to negotiate that as of yet. We're going to look at different types of systems that could go and decide what would be the best, and then try to figure out how we want to negotiate that portion of things. So that's where we're at right now. We shall see what the next little bit brings. Today, Azariah has social working coming over. She actually is kind of like the person who like navigates all the at-home services that he gets. So just kind of, and also like his necessary things like making sure if I need somebody to call numbers to check to see like if they are almost ready or where we're at in the process of that. I'll probably have her, I'd put in a referral a while ago and I had asked her if she could check on the thing for the vision therapy, and so I'll see if she heard back from them, stuff like that. We also talk about like his appointments that he recently had, upcoming appointments, just to kind of like group everyone together, because he has so many services. It's good to have like somebody home base that can group people together. So that's kind of her job. She also lets me know if there's any say programs, or like if he's eligible for anything that might be a blessing to him. So she's coming over immediately after, if not at the same time. His BiPAP got in. So yesterday I was in Boston and they said whatever that she could come out this afternoon. So probably as she's leaving, the other lady will be coming in to train us on how to use the BiPAP. So that is it for the day. I will update you as I find out about all these things that are going on with the house. We were there. He was very thorough with the inspection. We were there for like 3.5 hours. My husband was there. It's the first time that my husband actually saw the house, which was nice. He was excited about the outbuilding as well, and he could see how we could do things. We kind of measured some spaces too on how we could make some things work, and yeah, feeling kind of comfortable with it. One thing is we really would like to put a wood stove in the house, whatever house we're in, and I was trying to wrap my brain around how we could put a wood stove in. If you live in Maine, and you should know, it is definitely a blessing to be able to have a heat source that is not connected to electricity, because if your power goes out, you like to be able to have heat. So yeah, I think we figured that out. We have to like do some numbers, measured out that area that I thought might work, and yeah, so I'm kind of excited about that because I couldn't see how I could make that work, and then I'm like, yeah, maybe I could make it work. So that's kind of exciting. I think I mentally have, if we do move in this house, how things would work. And I needed to do that mentally for me, just to be more, give myself more clarity. So for us to move into a 1,600 square
turn
foot,
right to merge onto Main Turnpike South.
into a smaller space of 1,600 square feet, I need to know how I can make that space work efficiently for 15 people. So I needed to measure things to make sure that I could make it work for 15 people. So that is, I did some of that today, which was kind of nice. So I don't know, we'll see. I still feel very hopeful actually about this place. I kind of like the town. Stop by the gas station near where it is. I kind of like the feeling just of the people in surrounding area. It's kind of rural, yet at the same time it's like right near like lots of stuff, so that's really a blessing. Not too far from my husband. My husband said that he has worked in that area quite a bit, even though it's not his technical zone, it's within the distance. I also kind of feel blessed. He just told me that somebody at work actually had to move out of zone, and they lost an employee because they just couldn't afford to buy a house in the area. So if we can, that would really be a blessing. Anyhow,
Go past this light, then at the next one, turn right.
I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day. My nose is so itchy. Sorry, I like keep itching it. I don't know if it was like whatever from the house, or maybe my jacket from like whatever last year, but I
At
just
the
feel
light,
like
turn right
little
to merge
itchy.
onto Main Turnpike South.
Same day. Yes, I'm wearing a scarf in my house. Yes, I am. I am so cold-blooded. I either need to wear a hood or I need to wear a scarf. It's chilly. I'm in the basement right now. So much has happened. I feel like so much has happened. Did the inspection today. Already told you about a bunch of those things. Since then, I got home. I was waiting for, I wasn't waiting for anyone. I was home for like 10 minutes, and then the social worker came in, and then almost immediately after that, the lady came in to set up the BiPAP. So he's all set for that. I think I know what I'm doing with that. We'll find out tonight. So in all that mix, the Realtor contacted the town. She had already been in contact with the town about this other building, And apparently the other building does not have a permit. We measured the building, and they were trying to see and look it up, like in their books. It does not have a permit. So I guess now we're going to try to go in there and talk to whoever, but he's on vacation until December 2nd, which is after like our earnest deposit thing, like a lot after the earnest deposit thing, which makes it kind of frustrating figuring things out, whatever. So what they're trying to do is we're trying to get the seller to agree to apply for a building permit. So we'll see how that goes. I guess the issue is, from my research, is if they did not get the building permit in order to build the other building, that we could be liable for the building permit, and then also if things are not up to code, we could be responsible for all those things. So, not the greatest idea of that. That's where it stands. So we are waiting for that. Now, why don't we just stop looking totally? It's hard to... We live in a society nowadays that no kids go outside. I just read the other day that 95% of Americans spend 95% of their time inside. That's not us. That is not us. We spend most of our time outside versus inside. Maybe because, I don't know why. Maybe the Swedish part of me just comes out and I want to be like Scandinavian and live outside and have a lifestyle like that. I don't know why. But we spend quite a bit of time outside, and it's totally different. It almost feels like you're trapped. My children feel like they're trapped. I feel like I'm trapped because we're so used to just living outside. I feel like a caged animal sometimes. And it's not to say that my house isn't beautiful, but we don't play gaming systems. My kids who do have phones are like old enough, they have jobs, so they have phones. If you don't have a job to pay for your phone, then I'm not getting you a phone. Yeah, and everyone's on like our plan because it's a lot cheaper, because my husband works with an internet company. But that said, I don't believe in kids having phones. So they're not on gaming systems, they're not on phones, they're not on tablets, they're not watching TV all day. They're living life. But do you know how hard it is to live life when you don't go outside? I don't even know. I don't know. It's really challenging. It really is. And I think that you can't understand that unless you've lived a lifestyle that you live outside pretty much, and then cannot live outside. If you have always grown up like living inside of your home most of the time, then you probably wouldn't understand living outside all the time. That probably seems crazy to you. To be outside all day probably seems like totally insane to you, because why do people do that? It's cold outside. We are not that way. We just are outside a lot. I think kids need to burn off energy. They need to do all the things that our kids do. Another thing is we homeschool, but we homeschool whatever hours work for us. Okay, right now it is like 5:30. At 6 o'clock, I plan on doing a read aloud with the kids for like an hour, a really cool read aloud. Okay, that's not part of like school hours, yet we're gonna spend an hour doing a historical thing. Sometimes we do science experiments at like 8 o'clock at night. So sometimes at, noontime after lunch, if people need a little exercise, we might go on a bike ride, or we might, be outside, play outside for a little bit to try to, burn off some energy, let our bodies think through what we're learning or whatever. So our schedule is not the same schedule as a traditional public school. So if you live in an area, you have to kind of be cautious in times of day that you actually send your kids outside or go outside or doing whatever things, because then they think that the kids are truant and it can be challenging. So yeah, those are main reasons for that. Another thing is we want to grow food again. For me, I'm thinking more about like, yes, I'm thinking about the house, but I'm thinking more about like what I can plant, how I can grow. our food, all those things. So I don't know, guys. Anyhow, those are my thoughts. I need to go give the baby a bath. I know it's different for everyone. I know a lot of people are like, just go back up north or just stay in your house. Well, it's not that easy. We have literally a driveway. Literally a driveway. Like, our driveway touches our neighbor's house. The other side of the other driveway, which is tiny, we're talking about maybe like 30 feet. Like, you can fit a maximum of 3 cars. So my husband actually has his work truck parked like on the side of the road. So the other side goes directly to the back of restaurants. So when people come out of the back of restaurants, like employees come out of the back of restaurants, they're literally like practically smoking in our driveway. So, or doing trash or leaf blowing or whatever, like along the back side there. So that is really challenging for us. It also is challenging to have little kids. I can't just send like younger kids outside if somebody's like standing there smoking a cigarette. Hey, do you want to go get secondhand smoke or what? So just all those little things are little tidbits that add up to equal a big, we feel like we need to move. So we'll just keep plugging away. I mean, I'm so hopeful with this house. Like, really, the inspections went overall really well. Just tiny things that we need like further inspection on, but nothing like major. Nothing major at all. The house was built in 1994. So it's a newer house. It looks like something that he mentioned is there probably was mold remediation at some time in the attic. He was very, very detailed in everything that he did. But he did not see any other mold. He saw that it was done in like 2016. It was like written on the insulation when it was done, and he felt like it was done really well. It doesn't see any new mold growth, yada, yada. So that is absolutely wonderful. Yeah, so there's so many good points about this house, and I definitely could see our family living in this house. It's like each day I start to love this house more, and then at the same time I'm so worried about like the next step and waiting for like the ball to fall or whatever it is, because there's so many things that need to happen. Maybe it's, just the way that it needs to get pushed out for a little bit further, and that's okay. That would actually work better for us financially, because we just paid off $7,000 debt. So, it'd be great to go into it with a little bit, more cushion. That would be lovely too. I don't know, guys. Yeah. I'll let you know how the rest of the stuff goes. I think we're probably going to hold off to see what he says. Before, I don't want to be paying for like the survey or paying for the other things, the septic inspection, until we've actually got an answer about the building permit and such with this house. But it's frustrating because apparently the only guy is like on vacation until the 2nd, which would mean that we would have to try to push out our due diligence like quite a bit. And then what are they going to say? Like, do I need to get a building permit? What needs to be in that building permit? Does somebody need to come and inspect it? Do I pay for that inspection? Like, all those things, right? So we really need to figure those things out, because it could be really like a financial burden for us if we get it. And then, I mean, technically, if they don't approve it, we might have to tear it down. Tearing down that would, like, if the other building wasn't part of the property, then we definitely would not pay the amount that we're going to pay for this property, because I don't have any space to put stuff. I don't have any basement or any storage to put things, so there's no way that I would want to be in on a property like this. Anyway, hope y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. So guys, get this. I totally forgot to tell you guys this. It is crazy. So I was talking to my realtor and I was eating chocolate. I was talking to my realtor, and so the house that we were under contract with is supposed to disclose the information that we found out about the house. And so, because there's a lot of stuff wrong with the house, like big things wrong with the house, and they're supposed to disclose all of that. They haven't disclosed nothing for this house. So she went to see who, like the listing agent, and normally what they would do is they would go to like the listing agent's like kind of boss. And so she went to try to do that, but it's an independent listing agent, so there's no boss ahead of her. So now she has brought it to the attention of the what's the name of it, it's like the Realties Association or something like that. Because he should not be doing this. If somebody bought the house and all that stuff was wrong with the house and they sold the house like that, the seller might have to pay for, like, I mean, the agent or whatever could be in really big trouble for that. But also, like, it's just crazy. Like, why would you not disclose that information? So they have disclosed zero things wrong with the house, and then they marked it down for $25,000 less with zero things disclosed. It seems like they're hoping that nobody will find out that information. So then my agent's kind of like, I wonder if the owner even knows what is going on with this house. Like, truly, what is going on with this house? Anyway, that is going to be addressed. Because, I would hate to like know that information and not disclose that. Like, imagine like going in to like buy a house and like all these things are wrong with it. You could have saved yourself a lot of money, because as soon as you do, hoping that somebody doesn't do inspections, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know, upsetting that somebody would do that, but it's just really dishonest. Anyhow, that was a little update on that house. That was the house that we were under contract, the big house, under contract with. So yeah, that's it.